In this screencast, I will show you how to conduct a correlation. Before conducting a correlation, you will need to screen your data. Please see the screencast titled Screening Your Data for instructions. Once you have screened the data, you can conduct statistical tests. In addition to examining differences between correlations, you can also explore relationships between variables. This is known as a correlation. Remember, for a correlation, you can only explore relationships between two variables at a time. An example of a research question that requires a correlation for analysis would be: is there a relationship between the number of days being physically active and confidence in a strength task? Using the two variables physical activity and confidence in my dataset, I can examine if a relationship occurs. To run a correlation, click on Analyze, Correlate, Bivariate. You then need to move your two variables over to the Variables box. In this case, physical activity and confidence. Then click OK to run your test. The output window then shows the results of your test. We are interested in the figures for Pearson correlation and sig two-tailed. You will need to make a note of these figures for when you report the results of your test. Remember, if the sig two-tailed figure is 0.05 or below, then the result is significant. If not, then it is non-significant. For correlations, you also need to report the size of the relationship, that is, the size of the correlation output. 0.8 is generally known to be a large correlation, 0.5 is known as a medium, and 0.2 is small. When providing the results of the test conducted, I would write: a Pearson's correlation examined whether a relationship existed between physical activity and confidence. When concluding the results of the test, I would write: there is a non-significant, small, negative correlation between physical activity and confidence. The correlation is classified as small as it was 0.2 and negative as the correlation statistic was minus. This is when you would use the figures you noted down in the correlations table as evidence for your conclusion. Using the table, you would report the results of a correlation as R equals 0.214, P equals 0.089. You would generally put this at the end of your correlation in brackets. You would report details of the test and the conclusions drawn from the results, along with the statistical evidence in the results section of your dissertation. It is also good practice to visually display data. When running correlations, scatter plots are the accepted way of presenting data. To run a scatter plot, go to Graphs, Legacy Dialogues, Scatter Dot. Click on Simple Scatter and Define. Move your first variable, in this case physical activity, over to the y-axis box, and your second variable, in this case confidence, over to the x-axis box. Then click OK to run your scatter plot. Your scatter plot then appears in your output file. Scatter plots are a good way to show the direction of your correlation, depending on whether there is a relationship or not. In this case, as you can see, there isn't. They can be used to support your conclusion and can be either reported in your results section or in your appendix of your dissertation. But please remember when writing up your results that correlations only tell you if there is a relationship between your variables. They do not suggest the degree to which one variable causes the other.